Richmond is our home and we're ready to learn. We'll find fish, birds and bugs everywhere we turn. If you're with blue sky, you know we're exploring. So come on, let's go and have some fun.
Today we're coming to you live from the Blue Sky Fun office with another episode of Explorers at Home. We're here to show you that even when the wintry weather forces you inside, you can still continue to do science and explore. Mr. Dustin, Today we're going to look at what happens when organisms have to compete to survive in their ecosystem.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. If you'd like to keep up with all the things that we're learning today, please be sure to download the science log in the description box below. Mr. Dustin, what do you already know about how organisms interact in an ecosystem?
So I know that non-living and living things interact in an ecosystem.
Cool. So what would you want to learn about organisms in an ecosystem?
Yeah, I hope to learn today what happens to plants or animals when they don't find what they need to survive in their ecosystem.
I wonder what we can do to figure this out.
Yeah, let's take a look inside and see if we can find the answers to those questions. Our first experiment, we're going to be focused on plants. So what you'll need for this activity are your 3 cups and your seeds. Today we're going to be using soybean seeds. We've got some soil here for planting and some water. All right. So you'll start off by opening your bag and filling your 3 cups at an equal level. You want all of the cups to have about the same amount of soil. I'm filling up in my cup so I'm not making a mess on my nice table. So then once I get my cups filled, I'll start the planting process. So planting is really fun whether you're planting inside or you're planting outside. And one little tip you can do is stick your finger down in the soil like this. You can do that in all 3 of your cups. And that gives you a little spot to drop in your seeds. So I'll start off with 2 or 3 seeds in the first cup. All right, so I'll sprinkle them in, and then you just want to kind of cover the top of the soil or cover the top of the seeds with the soil just slightly. Then I'll take my next batch of seeds here, and this is going to be about 10 seeds. So you'll sprinkle those around, make sure they're in there. You don't want to pack them down too solid, leaving them loose with the soil. So that one is just like that. Now this one's going to have a whole lot of seeds. And what we're trying to do here is see the difference in the growing patterns of our seeds. Each cup is filled with the same amount of soil, so they're all getting the same amount of nutrition, but there's a different number in each one. So we've got to see what that is going to look like when they start to grow. Now, left a couple out there. As you can see, this one has a whole lot, and you might not be able to get those all under the soil there. So as we are watering, you want to do it very careful. The first water you can soak the soil pretty well, and then as the plant gets sun, the soil will dry out, and you'll need to water a little bit more each day. So just like a little splash will do. If you have a mister, you can spray them with that, or just soaking them under the sink. But think about these plants like the back seat of a car. Each one of these pots could be the back seat, here, here, and here. And think about it when there's just 3 people in the car. It's great because it's safe, everybody has a seatbelt, and there's enough room to be able to be in the car. But then think if you tried to cram any more people in there. It wouldn't be safe. There wouldn't be seatbelts for everyone. And it wouldn't be comfortable. It'd be kind of squished in there. And then if you think about it in this way, it would be very squished. You couldn't even fit that many people in a whole car. You'd need more like a bus. But in that space, you wouldn't have enough room and you wouldn't have enough air. If you put down the windows on either side, everyone wouldn't be getting the same amount of air and the same amount of things that they need. And so it's just like these plants here. We're gonna see which plants get what they need and grow into a healthy plant. As you can see, our plants have grown since we planted, and you can see that this plant only has one sprout. It's very tall, it's got a good strong base and nice green leaves. That was one that only had a small amount of seeds and a lot of nutrients in that soil for those few seeds. This one had some more seeds, and you can see pretty healthy plants, nice strong stems. It looks like they're growing. You can see part of the seed shell is still on the end of this sprout, so that's kind of a cool thing to see. And you can even see nice healthy roots in the bottom here of this cup. And then we get to our one where we planted a lot of soybean seeds. And you can see this plant doesn't look as healthy. It's got some brown on the edges of the leaves. The stalks are not as thick as the other ones, and they're kind of dry. Some of them have laid over because they couldn't hold up the weight. So you can see that the competition to get the nutrients out of the soil really shows up in these three different samples.
Animals have to find the resources they need in order to survive in their ecosystem too. This game, Oh Deer, shows us a model of how deer find their resources and what happens if they don't. Every game comes with resource cards, 1 dice, 4 deer, 2 of each color, a player's card for each of the 2 players. So if you pick an apple, a twig, or an acorn, the food that a deer eats, you place it down on your resource card. Or you could pick up water, another resource that all living things need. What you don't want to get is a blank card, because that means that you have not found a resource that your animal might need. And what you really don't want is that wolf, a predator of the deer. Mr. Dustin's going to join me so we can play. All right, Mr. Dustin, you're going to be the gold deer.
All right.
And I'll be the silver deer. And what we need to do is set up a grid of 4 by 5 using our resource cards. Let's shuffle them up a little bit. And I'll hand you some, and I'll take some, and we can start laying out our grid.
Okay.
So 4 across and 5 down. And we should have cards left over when we're done. You have some extras?
Yep, sure do.
All right, so we'll set them to the side to fill in the board as we go along. Now, the great part of this game is there's no start and no finish place. So pick one of your deer, and we're gonna start them wherever we go. I'll start by rolling my die. I got 1 space, so I only get to move 1 spot. I'm gonna start here, and I landed on an acorn, so I got some food for my deer. Your turn, Mr. Dustin.
Alrighty, let's roll my dice. Oh, I got a 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. And I got some water, so I have got something to drink this year.
Great. Now, I'm gonna roll again. 3. Now the great thing is you can move in any direction you want, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. I got some shelter. Good. I'll be nice and safe and warm.
Alright. 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, friend.
Hey. Oh.
Mr. Dustin, you
I got a wolf. So
wolf.
a predator was in that area and it got me.
So you are done for, Mr. Dustin. Good thing you have another deer that you could put back on the board to keep playing with me. This is your second life. Okay? I'll keep going. 1. I'm gonna go right here. Oh no, another predator got me. So that's this guy out of the game. I gotta play with my second life. Your turn, Mr. Dustin.
Alrighty. Oh boy, 2. So I'll start here. 1, 2. Oh!
No!
Wow. Another woof.
Man, it seems like there are a lot more predators than there are deer out here. Let's hope I don't get one, because your guy is out. You are done.
Done for.
I have 3, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. I got shelter. So at the end of my first year, I've got food, shelter, predator, shelter. I'm missing water. Do I have enough to survive to live another year if I go a whole year without any water? I sure don't. So it looks like my game is over too, and we would be able to set up and play again.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing with me, Mr. Dustin.
Thanks for showing me how.
So you can have fun with this game and figure out how your deer can survive with the resources that are provided for it in its ecosystem. Today, we have seen for ourselves the effects of an ecosystem that has limited resources, or in a space where organisms have to compete for those resources, or in the case of our deer, where there's more predator than prey. We hope that you have fun investigating organisms and ecosystems by doing these activities at home. Please be sure to share your results and experiences with these activities by sending us video or pictures to explorers@blueskyfun.org, or by posting them on social media with the hashtag ThinkOutsideWithBlueSky. Until next time, keep exploring, scientists.
Richmond is our home and we're ready to learn. We'll find fish, birds and bugs everywhere we turn. If you're with Blue Sky, you know we're exploring. So come on!